Early Friday morning began with persistent rain, but no one could have imagined it would turn into one of the worst natural disasters to hit central Texas in decades. Within a matter of hours, what seemed like just another storm escalated into a full-scale emergency. The epicenter of the disaster was located in the region known as Hill Country, where Kerr and Tom Green counties experienced scenes of devastation. The usually calm Guadalupe River transformed into an uncontrollable torrent of destruction. Rainfall was so intense that the river rose over 22 feet in just 3 hours. In comfort, the rise was even more dramatic, over 26 feet in less than an hour. The water exceeded all forecasts and caught everyone off guard. Without sufficient warning, many families were taken by surprise in the middle of the night. Some barely managed to flee their homes, others were trapped in their vehicles, and many had to be rescued under extreme conditions. The city of Kerrville was among the hardest hit. Located about 55 miles northwest of San Antonio, it faced one of the most severe floods in its recent history. Mayor Joe Herring Jr. declared a state of disaster that very morning. As a result, all 4th of July celebrations were canceled. The event, known as the state's largest free music festival, had to make way for emergency response operations. Social media was flooded with terrifying images, streets turned into rivers, floating vehicles, and homes completely underwater. Arcadia Loop, Thompson Drive, Guadalupe Street, and Riverside Drive vanished beneath the floodwaters. Police and firefighters worked tirelessly. Sirens blared nonstop. Evacuation orders came from all directions. The message was urgent: move to higher ground immediately. San Angelo was no exception. The city recorded over 14 inches of rainfall in a short span of time. The intersection of Bell Street and Loop 306 became impassable, with water nearly reaching the elevated roadway. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood emergency, describing conditions as particularly dangerous. The threat was real and growing by the hour. Authorities urged residents to remain at home. Crossing flooded roads could be deadly. In Brady, forecasts warned that the San Saba River would rise by more than 20 feet. It was only the beginning of a catastrophic day. Rescue teams were deployed across the region. Special vehicles, boats, drones, and swiftwater rescue personnel were mobilized in a large-scale operation. The Tom Green County Sheriff confirmed multiple rescues and dozens of emergency calls. In Ingram, an entire trailer park was swept away by floodwaters, with families still inside. The scenes were heartbreaking. The number of missing people grew with each passing hour. Although no official death toll has been released, Kerr County Judge Rob Kelly acknowledged that at least 6 people had died. Authorities feared that number would rise as rescue efforts continued. Kelly also admitted that there was no effective alert system in place to prevent a tragedy of this magnitude. "We deal with floods all the time, but nothing like this. No one saw it coming," he said with visible frustration. This catastrophe revived collective memories of the 1987 tragedy, when the same Guadalupe River rose 29 feet and swept away a bus and a van full of teenagers. Ten young people lost their lives back then. Now, history seemed to be repeating itself, but with even greater intensity. After months of drought, the parched ground was unable to absorb the water. Instead, it repelled it, accelerating the overflow. In some areas, rainfall reached up to 5 inches per hour. The soil simply couldn't handle it. Water rushed uncontrollably through streets, rural roads, and urban zones alike. The emergency quickly spread to Tom Green, and Kendall counties. More than 2,600 residents lost power. Fallen trees and downed power lines made it nearly impossible for emergency crews to access the worst-hit areas. Conditions were so dangerous that makeshift shelters had to be set up. Walmart served as one of the reunification centers for displaced residents. The warnings were crystal clear. Stay home, don't drive, and do not attempt to cross flooded roads. Along the Guadalupe River, from Hunt to Center Point, rescue operations were constant. The river's levels continued to rise. It was forecast to reach 31.8 feet in Kerrville and 30.6 feet in Comfort. Any additional rainfall would only make matters worse. Meteorologists like James Wingroth declared this a once-in-a-100-year event. But climate change is making these extreme events more and more common. The Texas Division of Emergency Management activated all its resources. Operations Chief Nim Kidd emphasized that protecting lives and property was the absolute top priority. By the end of the day, the rain hadn't stopped. Lower-lying areas remained under threat. Authorities continued issuing warnings and urged maximum caution. This disaster has left an indelible mark on Texas. The speed at which it unfolded, the scale of the destruction, and the loss of life make it one of the most tragic events of the year. What began as a rainy night ended as a day of horror. Families torn apart, homes destroyed, and an entire region now facing the long and painful road to recovery.